In 2015, something strange happened across the American Southwest, an operation called Jade Helm 15. Officially, it was a military training exercise, but those of us who paid attention saw something deeper, something darker. Jade Helm claimed it was about training U.S. soldiers in unconventional warfare, but the tagline said it all. Master the human domain. That wasn't just about battlefields overseas. That was about us, the American people. Soldiers were walking around neighborhoods, not in uniform, but acting like American citizens. They weren't pretending to be foreign troops or police. They said things like, "I'm an American citizen and I know my rights." It was all to make the training feel like the real thing. Around the same time, something else quietly shifted. Snapchat was introduced to the public, a fun social media app that just happened to rely on facial recognition. At the same time, Walmart stores began upgrading their surveillance. Sharper cameras, zoom lenses, facial tracking. And, curiously, the very Walmarts that shut down during Jade Helm were among the first to get these upgrades. The theory? These stores were being quietly converted, prepared to act as detention centers in case of civil unrest. Under Trump's first term, we saw immigrant families actually detained inside Walmarts. That part wasn't a theory, that was real. Then came the cyber attack rumors back in 2015. It was just a scenario. But in 2025, we saw reports of Russian cyber threats. Banks go offline and digital systems crashing. Again, what started as a drill started happening. And what's the end game? Many believe it's a North American Union, combining the US, Canada, and Mexico under one government, one economy, and one surveillance net. Why? Because the Americas are the last major region without a unified bloc. The U.S. Constitution protects freedoms that the Kabbalists see as a problem. Uniting North America would be the final step toward global control. In Trump's second term, these ideas resurfaced. He spoke of absorbing Mexico's territory, called the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. Mass protests will break out nationwide on Trump's birthday, Flag Day. These protests were funded by Christy Walton, billionaire heir to the Walmart fortune. And yet again, Walmart is tied to the chaos. The media paints Trump and the Waltons as enemies, but both are working for the same cabal pushing global domination. Now here's the part you won't hear on the news. A lot of these protests, they're staged. I went to a BLM protest in my own city, right by one of the Walmarts that shut down during Jade Helm. And what I saw was not grassroots. They bussed people by the school bus. And they weren't locals. They were outsiders. Groups like Antifa, controlled opposition meant to stir up chaos so the government can step in with more control. There were even pallets of bricks left out on corners waiting to be thrown. Cops in undercover cars, even women officers trying to lure people into looting. Not big box stores, mom and pop shops. It was bait, pure bait. And when people take the bait, boom, martial law gets justified.
You met these two, I like to call them bought and paid for. People have noticed and filmed that in the back of the Museum of Contemporary Art in LA, there are supplies that protesters are able to use, like bags of rocks and cinder blocks and other things. And this is interesting because guess who sits on their board of trustees? Karen Bass. Her job is to ensure the museum's strategic direction aligns with civic values. And if that's not interesting enough, the Saturday before the protests in LA started, the museum held a gala with Karen Bass and a bunch of celebrity donors, including Nancy Pelosi, and they all got around and raised $31 million for the museum. And this, of course, came 2 weeks after they lost grant funding due to Trump's NEA funding cuts. And today, President Trump said that the Department of Justice has opened an investigation to find out who is financing these protests.
Yes, speak out, defend your people, defend against ICE and surveillance, but don't fake protests be the excuse for a real crackdown. From Jade Helm to 2025, the blueprint is still active. The only question is, how many of us are still awake?
Salud. Welcome to Compton, where the grass is green.
So you're against the protests or for the protests?
I just chilling. You know, I live here and I ride my horse, and that's it.
What are your thoughts on the protests?
I just barely got off from work. I don't see too much.